Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I'd like to present you guys with an out-of-character video. I don't come at you guys as MegaCrasher, and I'd like to apologize for my appearance in advance. I just got out of bed a little while ago, and you can tell I got the bed head, and I'm also shirtless, so I'd like to apologize for that. But I'd like to present you guys with kind of like an on-the-spot video, and I just kind of wanted to shoot straight with you guys and talk about something that's been weighing on my mind, that being trading in Pokemon Go. So the reason for this video, ladies and gentlemen, is so that we can spark up some discussion between us, whoever sees this video, whether you guys are a part of the community or not. If you guys are newcomers and this is your first ever video that you're seeing and you haven't yet subscribed, well, I'm just going to say that I would appreciate if you gave the videos a chance. I normally play a character called MegaCrasher, so if you guys are wondering about the insanity and all about, you know, the yelling and the rages and all that stuff and the high energy, that's the reason why. It's because I play a character, whereas myself, I'm calm, cool, collected, while still got a fair amount of energy and enthusiasm to boot. But this isn't about that. This is about trading. I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on trading in Pokemon Go. And this kind of stems back to when I made my video talking about trading and whether or not it was even needed in Pokemon Go. Now, clearly in that video, I was all for trading in Pokemon Go. You know, I definitely think that it is a key feature that should have been incorporated in the game since day one, alongside the likes of player versus player, because those are two very, very key features that is in Pokemon in general, especially within the main series games. But given the fact that Pokemon Go is not exactly main series and it's kind of different, well, there's no kind of about it, it is different. I've had some conversations with you guys behind the scenes and even some people in person, and they're not exactly too keen on trading coming out in Pokemon Go. And even though I'm for trading in Pokemon Go, I can understand reasons why they wouldn't want trading in Pokemon Go. So first things first, I'm going to go over the reasons why I think that Pokemon Go should have trading. So let's begin. So first things first, trading should be involved because it's a key feature in Pokemon in general. I mean, along with player versus player and battling and all that stuff, it definitely should have been included from the get-go. Now, another reason why I think that trading should be involved in Pokemon Go is so that you can obviously make trades in between your friends, you know? Say, for example, you know, I've got a Pokemon that either Jason wants, that either Jonathan wants, or someone that I know plays Pokemon Go that I know fairly well, that I have that trust with them. You know, they have something that either I want and I have something that they want, and we make a trade, and we're both happy at the end of the day. And I'll tell you one thing, is that I would love to have 100 IV Crobat, so that way I can actually trade it to Jason, because he loves Crobat as much as I love Suicune. You know, he exists for that Pokemon, much like I exist for Suicune in Pokemon Go. Now, another reason why trading should come out is because of regional exclusive Pokemon. Now, the thing is that, you know, I would have honestly loved if the regional exclusive Pokemon did kind of like a monthly rotation, you know? So, for example, you got Tauros that I believe is in the Americas, that being Canada and the United States of America. You got Mr. Mime that's in England, you got Kangaskhan that's in Australia, and the list goes on. I definitely think that they should have rotated those Pokemon monthly, so that way everybody would have a chance to fill their Pokedex with regional exclusive Pokemon. But given the fact that that's not exactly the case, that is why trading should be included in Pokemon Go, because if they're not going to be rotating the regional exclusive Pokemon, then how the hell are we going to be able to get access to those Pokemon unless we travel, you know? And given the fact that, you know, in this day and age, everything is expensive as hell, you know? Even food is expensive. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, you know, clearly being able to travel, that takes a lot of time and a lot of money. Something that, like I said, there's not a lot of people these days that have access to those kind of luxuries. But the thing is, though, is that right there is another reason why trading should be included, is so that way you don't have to spend money to travel, you know? I know that may seem a little bit of a lame reason, but it's still a reason nonetheless, you know? The thing is that at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself, you know, if you're a hardcore Pokemon Go gamer like I am, you know, would you really want to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars just to travel to one region just to catch a Pokemon that you don't have in your Pokedex? Or Or would you like for there to be trading so that way you can trade with people who have access to those Pokemon and you'll be able to fill the Pokedex up? I mean, I think that is a pretty solid reason if I do say so myself. Now, obviously, another reason why trading should be included when it comes to Pokemon Go is more of a competitive reason. So say, for example, you know, you're a really competitive player like I am, and you're trying your hardest to find really strong, really high IV, if not perfect IV Pokemon. I mean, here's the thing, is that I want to have perfect IV Pokemon. I'm 100%, you know what I mean? I'm a 100% kind of guy. But the thing is that that's kind of a little big pipe dream there, you know? But the thing is that I have two high IV, or I should say perfect IV Pokemon, that being in my Machamp and in Poliwrath, if you guys either haven't yet known or you forgot or something like that. I only got 200 IV Pokemon, whereas people around me have handfuls upon handfuls of 100 IV Pokemon, and including Jason too, you know. Jason has like the 100 IV luck, okay? But also, there's other people I know that have the 100 IV luck, and I'm just like, how did you do that? How did you do it? It's like, come on, man. It's like, how do you get so lucky? Do you have like a gold-plated horseshoe up your ass? Because I want it. Like, I want that luck. So the thing is that like, if they're willing to trade you 100 IV Pokemon for either, you know, Pokemon that they don't have, that either they don't care for the IVs, or, you know, if they have something that you want and you have something that they want and you want to make a fair and equal trade, then that right there is another reason why it should be added. So that way, you'll be able to gain access to competitive Pokemon with high IVs, if not perfect IVs. And the thing is that, you know, I'm not going to be doing what I like to call the filling out your Pokedex with 100 IV Pokemon. I mean, that right there is a crazy end goal, and I don't think that would ever be met, to be honest with you, because as Pokemon Go is going to be adding in new generations, I'm not sure when they're going to be adding in Gen 3, but just keep in mind that up until Gen 7, there's over 800 Pokemon. So, I mean, you do the math, and you do the math as to how crazy rare 100 IV Pokemon are, and you'll get the idea. And the thing is that I would love to have 100 IV Suicune, and maybe even 100 IV Lugia, because the thing is that Lugia is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, and one of my all-time favorite Psychic/Flying types. Like, it's one of my favorite Flying types, one of my favorite Psychic types, and it's just so majestic and so beautiful, and so, like, intimidating, too, at the same time, right? I mean, the thing is that, like, Lugia is it's just too awesome to pass up. So, I mean, if I have the opportunity to get 100 IV Lugia, then I'm gonna get it, you know? But I would love to give that person something just as good in return, or close to it. So, you know, the thing is that, like, you know, 100 IV Pokemon, they also make great gifts, too, you know? So, I mean, the thing is, like I said, you know, Jason, he loves Crobat. He would love to have 100 IV Crobat, so if I manage to get him one, or someone else manages to get one, and I trade for it or something like that, and I give it to Jason, then that right there just kind of makes trading just that much more worthwhile. Because the thing is that, you know, sharing is caring kind of thing. I mean, I know that, you know, it's kind of a hard thing to want to share your 100 IV Pokemon, because those right there are very rare, and depending on how competitively valuable they are, you might not want to share them at all, you know what I mean? I'm kind of that way with my Machamp, because not only is it really competitive, really meta right now, but Machamp kind of resembles me to a T, because it's buff, and I don't want to say I'm buff, but I love to work out, and the thing is, I don't exactly have two arms growing out of the back of my shoulders, so that's about as far as I can relate myself to Machamp, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, those are just a few reasons why trading should be included, and few that are personal reasons of mine. Now, obviously, when it comes to any in-game feature in general, there's obviously going to be potential for there being negatives, and I can also understand why there would be negatives when it comes to adding trading in Pokemon Go, so we're going to go and we're going to talk about those real quick. So, one of the reasons why people don't want to have trading in Pokemon Go is because of the fact that, given the fact that there is a lot of cheating and a lot of hacking in Pokemon Go, and trading were to come out, if these people that have, you know, spoofed and hacked their Pokemon to which they are absolute perfection, they have like multiple copies of or something like that, you know, they could open up a black market and actually sell those Pokemon for real life cash. And the thing is that right there just kind of, it just really kills the spirit of the game, you know what I mean? It kills the authenticity and the legitimacy of the game, especially say, for example, you know, I wanted to have 100 IV Suicune, and say, I traded with someone that I had absolutely no idea who he was, but I just decided to go be all gung-ho and say, yeah, screw it, you know, I'll trade for your 100 IV Suicune, or, you know, to be a little bit more practical, say, he has a 100 IV Dragonite that I really, really want. And I don't even care how he got it, you know, whether he got it legitimately or if he got it through, like, hacking and spoofing and all that stuff. And say, for example, that Pokemon gets traded to my account, and if Niantic detects that that Pokemon has been spoofed and hacked, and they decided to either suspend my account or they have some crazy way to really make you pay for the fact that you have a cheated Pokemon, that compromises the integrity of your whole account, in my opinion. But the thing is that one of the reasons why trading is obviously going to be an issue has to do with the black market. People are obviously going to be rallying up a whole bunch of troops, a whole bunch of 100 IV Pokemon, and they're going to be exploiting kids for cash. I mean, the thing is that it kind of goes without saying that it does happen in multiple gaming communities, you know? They have access to really rare stuff, right? They have access to really rare stuff, and they decide, well, you know what? It's like because, you know, we're going to be dealing with a bunch of kids and all that stuff, and they're going to be all gung-ho and not really think things through properly, more likely than not, then they're going to be, you know, wanting to do absolutely anything that they can to get their hands on, you know, whatever item or whatever it is in the game that they really, really want. Like, for example, CSGO skins, and, you know, just really, really broken items and items that you can't get under normal circumstances. And I can understand where they're coming from, too, but the thing is that even through those sort of negative effects, I really, really don't think that people who genuinely want trading and want player versus player features to be added in Pokemon Go should be deprived of that. So I think that there should be a fine balance when it comes to adding features that could cause negativity. So one of my solutions would be to make it so that either you can only trade with people that are local, or if you have like a special code that you give to someone that you know that either isn't local. So like, say for example, I want to trade with Jason, okay? He has 100 IB Steelix, and I really, really want that. So say, you know, I have 100 IB Crobat that he really wants. We can make a trade right then and there, and even though he lives all the way in Singapore, you know, say if we were to have like a code or something like that, a code was given to us in the game somehow that we can share with only each other, and, you know, that code cannot be replicated by anybody else, otherwise it's going to come up as an error message or it won't work out. Then that right there would be a great solution, in my opinion, when it comes to trying to balance out the negativities and the concerns in Pokemon Go would happen to have to do with having special codes. And if codes aren't available, then make it so that you can only trade with people that are local. So that way, it's like you can trade with people that you know personally, and you know that they're not going to give you bad Pokemon. So the second reason, ladies and gentlemen, I actually touched base on the second reason when I was going through explaining my first reason, but it has to do with Pokemon that are either marked as cheated and not legit, or if you were to, you know, get that Pokemon and, you know, at first it wasn't marked as cheated or spoofed, and then say if that person was to trade it to you just to get it off of their hands, and you end up getting that Pokemon, and then say a little while later, you open up your Pokedex, and you open up your Pokemon inventory, and all of a sudden, you notice that Pokemon has a red mark across it, meaning that that Pokemon has been detected as not being legit, and it compromises the integrity of your account, because you just end up getting a Pokemon that was clearly cheated, that was clearly hacked, and all that stuff. And the thing is that right there is just, it just really would be a spirit breaker if that Pokemon was shown as a red slash and it compromised the integrity of your account, because right then and there is like Niantic could do something crazy and either suspend or ban your account or shadow ban or soft ban or whatever. Basically do something that you feel is very unjust because you did not spoof or you did not hack to get that Pokemon. You simply traded. But the thing is that is the risk that you run, is that Pokemon that you end up trading for could potentially be hacked. So that right there, it carries over from the main series games, you know what I mean? When it comes to trading in general, you know, you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side. You don't know how that person got that Pokemon, whether it's through legit means or if they end up genning it or hacking it or something like that, and you really don't want to have gen or hack Pokemon in your cartridge, but too late, it's already there. So the thing is that is a risk that you run in general, so that's why, again, you should trade with people that you know instead of trading with complete strangers, even if it looks like it's too good to be true. Like, for example, I really want to have 100 IV Suicune, you know what I mean? But, you know, I don't want to just, like, up and trade with someone that I don't know, because Lord only knows how they got that Pokemon, right? I mean, they could have, like, hacked it somehow, some you know, advanced matrix kind of like technology that completely breaks the game, that breaks the algorithms of the game, that is not detected at first. But say if I was to get that Pokemon and Niantic was to come across my account, all of a sudden they ban that Pokemon, they soft ban me, or, you know, something like that. Something really stupid that really shouldn't happen. But the thing is that, like, that's the risk that you kind of run when it comes to making those sort of trades. You know what I mean? Is you got to know who is waiting for you on the other side. You got to know who that person is. You got to have that kind of trust. But at the same time, if you don't know that person, you go ahead with the trade anyways. Well, that's kind of the risk that you run. And at that point, it's like you now made the bed that you gotta lie in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that right there are just a few reasons as to why I think trading should be added in Pokemon Go, and why trading could potentially be a detriment when it comes to Pokemon Go. But keep in mind that I do have my own biases. I still want to have trading very much so included in Pokemon Go, because I feel that would be a really solid feature to add in the game to bring more people back into the game in general, because trading alongside battling are two very key features that have been in Pokemon Go since its inception back in 1996. But those are just my opinions. I definitely don't think that the negatives should cancel out the positives, and I definitely don't think that the negatives should ruin a good feature in Pokemon Go, that being trading, that has yet to be implemented in the game. But it's also a case of proceed with caution kind of thing, you know? It's kind of like, you know, you're accountable for what you trade for. So that right there should be on you. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, be sure to fire off a like if I earned it. And if you guys have any reasons that I didn't mention, that when it comes to trading in Pokemon Go, whether it should be added in the game or whether it shouldn't be added in the game, please feel free to let me know. I would love to hear from you guys, because I know that, you know, my opinions differ from quite the number of other people. I'm very outspoken when it comes to Pokemon Go, whether I'm in character or not. So with that said, guys, thank you all for watching. Much love to you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe, support, stay positive, and ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, keep it 100.